Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's your buddy Chewie here, coming at you again. Recording from my Mac tonight. Have recorded the first few episodes on my phone driving, and so tonight I'm here in my office. Everybody's asleep, including my wife. So it's late. It's about 10:30, 10:40 or so. Just thought I'd jump on real quick. Um, Cheers to you guys. Let's see. I wanted to talk tonight about my love for professional wrestling. Um, I have been a professional wrestling fan for, let's see, I'm 43 years old. Um, the better, actually, no, probably more than 30 years, probably more than 35 years. It's been a long, long time. Um, I can remember watching old school WWF with my grandfather. Um, he would get the WWF magazines delivered to his house, and I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. And so I can remember old, wrestling superstars on Saturday mornings. This is pre-WrestleMania days, right? Um, and I've been a fan ever since. Um, I'm primarily a WWE fan these days. Um, it's not to say that there aren't some other really good wrestling promotions out there, because let's be honest. I mean, if you're a wrestling fan these days, um, of the big promotions, WWE from a storyline perspective has got a little lot to be desired. Um, so there's you've got AEW, you've got New Japan, you got some other things um, that I just don't have time for, quite frankly. So I don't bother watching them. That's not to say that there's not some really good wrestling out there, because there is. I just don't have the time to watch it. It's WrestleMania season. I always say it's the greatest time of year to be a wrestling fan. This year, obviously, things are a little bit different, right? Um, COVID is here in the States. Everything has been canceled. Um, WrestleMania is no different in terms of it being affected. It has been affected. Um, they've actually moved it to the Performance Center in Florida, and they're going to have it in front of no fans, which is uh, going to be a really bizarre way to have WrestleMania. Um, if you've seen any of the programming, Raw or SmackDown, in these empty arenas, it's bizarre, right? It just kind of goes to show you um, how much of professional wrestling is the fans. Um, so one of the real bummers of WrestleMania being moved is or of COVID, right? We all have our issues. My big or one of the big things that's really bumming me out. My best friend Matt Pip, um, he comes to Cleveland every year for WrestleMania, and for the better part of, God, it's got to be 10 or 12 years now. He's been coming into town, into Cleveland, and we watch the show, and we build a Beeramid. Um, and so this year, I don't know that we're going to be able to do it, because he's not going to come in town this year. I imagine by that time, Ohio will probably be locked down. He's in Indiana. I imagine Indiana will be locked down as well. Um, we actually had a conversation tonight, though, about potentially um, doing our drinking game virtually, right? So using the power of the internet and using the power of technology, we might jump on you know a conference call or a Zoom meeting, and be able to kind of get together and watch the show, which would be cool, right? It would be much better to have him here in person, but if all things being equal and under the circumstances, that might be a pretty cool alternative. Um, so, like I said, we've been building this a yearly drinking game around WrestleMania for quite a few years now, and we have several year over year rules that they just continue year over year, and then we have a bunch of rules that are specific to that year's WrestleMania. So I'm looking at the year over year rules. You get one drink for a missed match outcome. We always guess on who's going to win. 3 drinks if it's a title match. 5 drinks if it's the main event. As you can imagine, this can add up pretty quickly. One drink for a foreign object, three drinks for a bloody wrestler. Doesn't happen too much anymore, but back in the day it did. Three drinks for an unannounced legend appearance or surprise return. One drink for a small package attempt. Uh, Finished beer if it wins the match. That has come into play over the years, which, again, if you have just cracked a beer and you got to do that, it gets ugly. Three drinks for a face or a heel turn. Two drinks for a submission victory. Five drinks for a double countout or a double DQ, which almost never happens in WrestleMania. This is the one that's bad. One drink for a finisher, two drinks if the opponent kicks out. That happens a lot. You get towards WrestleMania at the end of the year, it's the blow off to a lot of feuds. There is finishers everywhere, and if you've got a three-way match or four-way match, or sometimes you got 10 guys in a match and they're all hitting their finishers, it can add up pretty quickly. One drink every time they show footage of a previous WrestleMania that's not in the intro montage, and then three drinks for a title change. So this year we've got a couple of got a couple weeks yet before the show, so we don't have all of our rules yet. But so one drink for every time Becky Lynch is referred to as the Man. One drink every time Suplex City is mentioned, obviously during Brock Lesnar's match. One drink every time something is referred to as a WrestleMania moment, which I have a feeling this year that one might be the one. One drink for every reference of coronavirus or COVID-19. I actually don't think that one is going to happen too often, other than kind of in the intro of the show. But I would be remiss not to include it. One drink to every reference of an empty arena, and this one was sent in my buddy of mine, Tom. Drink every time people play to the non-existent crowd, which I think might not happen on purpose, but I think they'll probably do it just out of habit. So it's going to be interesting. I'm not quite sure. It's going to be two nights. So it's going to be hosted by Rob Gronkowski, Gronk, and it's going to be over two nights. So I'm not really sure how that's going to work. I will probably do my personal Beeramid over two nights. So whatever I drink the first night, I'll just add to it the second night. We did something really cool last year. Damn it, I don't have it with me. We bought a John Cena doll, a kind of a 16-inch figurine, and we're gonna make that our trophy, right? And so for every match, we picked all the matches. We picked who was going to win, and then we ranked them, or we weighted them based on our how certain we were in our pick. And last year, my oldest son, won the first annual, and so we wrote it on his chest. We put his name and the date, and who was the winner. So that trophy is up for grabs again this year. And I'm really kind of looking forward to the fact that it sounds like we might be able to do it, even though Pip is not going to be here in person in Cleveland. I'm hoping that we might be able to actually pull it off. So yeah, lots more wrestling talk. But I just want to jump on and talk about that real quick. If you're interested in looking at our Beeramid rules, it's www.406northlane.com/Beeramid. You can see not only this year's rules, but you can see all the previous years, all of the pictures of the previous events, and of the tower that we have taken so much joy in building over the years. So I will talk to you soon. Have a good evening, and God bless, bro. See you guys.